Let's watch.
Lack of transparency and truth in the process. Oji, President Tinubu announced subsidy gone in 2023.
Over 11 trillion naira was spent on fuel subsidies during Buhari's time for the 8 years he was in office. And
immediately he came into the government, they went straight for things they wanted to do. First and foremost on the lead, fuel subsidy must be removed.
Fuel subsidy. Unfortunate.
Any subsidy still going on within the NNPC frame? Is there any subsidy still going on within the NNPC frame as we speak?
At least the government promised one thing: power. If I don't give you power, don't vote for me.
To stay alive, Tinubu has to go. Hello guys, welcome back to Choka Film. You know, this story where Nigerians has been chatting that why is it that Tinubu government is still borrowing and borrowing and borrowing, that Tinubu becomes the father of borrowers. And people keep on asking, where is the money that was saved from removing fuel subsidy? Today, guys, the truth is out. There's now a revelation that the money that the government pretended to save from subsidy was used to pay for subsidy that was already removed. I know you are confusing. You'll be like, your head is kind of catching fire. What is going on? What is going on? Just relax. There is a lot to unpack on this story. And after the end of this video, you will come to that conclusion that for us to live, for me and you to live in Nigeria, Tinubu government must live. Our life depends on removing the Tinubu government, Tinubu regime, not even government anymore. So, to start this story, I want us to first travel some memories lane back on how Tinubu came about removing fuel subsidy. On the 29th of May, if I'm right, 2023, Tinubu made this video.
Fuel subsidy. Unfortunate. The budget that I've glimpsed before I assumed office, and what I've heard is that no provision is there for fuel subsidy. The fuel subsidy is gone. Subsidy can no longer justify an ever increasing cost in the wake of dry resources. We shall instead channel whatever to fund.
In that video, Tinubu announced that there is no more the regime of fuel subsidy anymore. And now, people keep on asking, because at the mention of that statement, everything in Nigeria, the price of every commodity increased thousands-fold. Food price up, transport price up, fuel price up. We begin buying fuel over 1,300 or over 1,500. But now people ask, where is the money saved from this fuel subsidy? To begin with this story, I want us to watch this interview that was conducted by Peter Obi, where he asked, if the government said they are saving money, why are they still borrowing? But before we continue with that video, guys, please, if you are new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button, click on the bell icon so that whenever I drop any latest update, you will be notified. Thank you very much. So now, let's start with this video with Peter Obi.
If any contractor will say here, Charles, me and him have sat down the way I sat with you, and I told him, put this for me, I will stop politics today.
Right. Well, we're running out of time. This has been a fascinating discussion with you. You have spoken consistently about prudence, about reform, but Nigerians are facing deep economic hardship, and punishing insecurity at the moment. What are the first 3 decisions you would take in office that would immediately change the trajectory of the economy and of insecurity in this country?
Well, the secretary has spoken a lot. I won't tell you everything here, but I'll be decisive. And people will see, they'll feel it. And I'm not going to lead from the back. I'll be in the front. And everybody will see, because if you cannot secure your country, you have nothing to offer. On the economy, we'll deal with it head on. We'll deal with the issue of corruption and waste. There's too much waste here. We'll deal with it. We will begin to ensure that whatever we're doing will be transparent. Nigerians will see it. Charles, this government came in, removed subsidy. Said because they don't want to, they were borrowing to service it. Removed subsidy in petroleum, subsidy in electricity, and that the resources they will save will be used in development. And they turned around, Charles, and borrowed more money. When Buhari came in, our borrowing was 13 trillion, about 13 trillion. When he left, it was 87 trillion. Today, Charles, we are hitting 200 trillion without anything to show for it. Subsidy is removed, both in petroleum and power. And yet, we've borrowed more. Our budgets are not financed. Charles, the entire 2025 budget, capital project, the contractors are being owed. So we're owing contractors. We borrowed more money. Where is the money going? What happened? The people need to know. I'll be open to them. I will insist that all borrowing will be used for investment. If they had borrowed to do something, at least the government promised one thing: power. If I don't give you power, don't vote for me. If they had borrowed all this money and put it in power, we'll say, okay. But I can tell you, from 2015 to date, no new plant has been commissioned and in process of being commissioned by the APC government. And it won't happen soon because it takes a long time to build. Countries like Indonesia, between 2015 and 2025, added 70,000 megawatts. And they are now doing 2025 to 2034, 69 megawatts. India added within the same period 171,000 megawatts to bring their total installed capacity, and this is now to 500,000. Egypt, within 2015 and 2021, added 28,000. How many have we added since 2015? Charles, we have a problem.
Now, the question remains, where is the money saved from removing fuel subsidy? There's this story of how the fuel subsidy is being spent by the NNPC or by the Tinubu regime for another fuel subsidy. And even that payment, there's a lot of corruption and a lot... Wait, let's just continue with this first video of the who blow the revelation, who blow the whistle. That was Jimmy Sinclair. Let's watch this video, then we'll come back.
Over 11 trillion naira was spent on fuel subsidies during Buhari's time for the 8 years he was in office, and we were buying fuel at between 187 to 250 naira. Now, fuel subsidy is gone. Immediately, Tinubu came into office. Now we are buying fuel currently at over 1,300 naira across Nigeria. But NNPC now says that it has spent money over 11.9 trillion on what it calls energy security expense. energy security expense in 2 years, between 2023 and 2024, over 11.9 trillion has been spent, and we are still buying fuel at 1,300. Let me tell you what this energy security expense is. According to the NNPC, it is the costs NNPC incurs to ensure Nigerians continue to have access to fuel and other energy products, even when supplying them is expensive or results in financial losses. Please, is that not like subsidy? Is that not like subsidy? If subsidy is gone, like people claim, and we are buying fuel at the price we are buying it, how can you open your mouth and tell Nigerians that you have spent that amount of money, over 11 trillion naira, on energy security expense in 2 years? In Buhari's 8 years, we spent 11 trillion. Buy fuel at 187. In 2 years, buy fuel at over 1,000 naira. We have spent over 11.9 trillion, more money than in 8 years was spent on subsidy. Can you not see that this government is a government of thieves and criminals, that the administration led by Bola Ahmed Tinubu is out to intentionally suffer Nigerians? Explain it to me. Please, somebody in the oil sector should come and make this thing make sense. How can you spend 11.9 trillion on what you call energy security expense? Expense on what? Are we not buying the fuel at the normal price? Are people still putting any subsidy for us? And how can you spend 11.9 trillion in just 2 years? Come on now. You might fool the gullible APC followers, the dimwits and numbskulls, but not all of us are like that. We have brains and we think. We have brains and we think. This is criminality. All of you supporting APC, continue to support your oppressors.
So in that video, Sinclair made the allegation that over 8 years of Buhari government, Buhari paid a total of over 11 trillion naira. And then we were buying fuel between 126 to 250 naira when fuel is scarce. 150 to between 150 to 250 naira. And the Tinubu government, the Buhari government paid over 11 trillion naira for good 8 years. Now let's come to Tinubu tenure. For over 2 years, not even up to 3 years, the Tinubu government have paid over 11.8 trillion naira for fuel subsidy they claim to have removed. They removed fuel subsidy, but they are paying over 11 trillion naira. And now they change the name to look like energy security, so that they pay money, they pay that 11 trillion for access, so that we can go to fuel station and buy fuel or diesel or whatever you want. That is what they pay that money for. That is what they say they pay that money for. They pay that money so that we can go to fuel station to go and buy fuel from the filling station. Energy security. So that we can have access to it. Now, let's say that 11 trillion naira was even a thing. You know why? You know where the corruption is? I want us to look at this video. This interview was conducted 2 years ago or 1 year ago by Oseni Rufai. I think that we don't even know the extent of the corruption of what is going on in NNPC. And this man was asked, is NNPC still paying fuel subsidy or anything like fuel subsidy? And this is how he answered that question.
Any subsidy still going on within the NNPC frame? Is there any subsidy still going on within the NNPC frame as we speak?
To be honest with you, Rufai, to be honest with you, if you look at the domestic crude allocation, the government still has barrels allocated to subsidy. And this is the question. This is why I'm shocked that the Nigerian Governors Forum is quiet. The government still has barrels it allocates to subsidy on a daily basis. So the question is, why are they paying for subsidy when Sections 205 of the PIA has been implemented? That's the question. You asked about importation. You asked about importation, Dr. Abati. Last month, 965 million liters of petrol was imported into Nigeria, despite the fact that Nigeria consumes about averagely 32 million liters per day and doesn't require more than 1 billion liters per day. Okay. So you have a situation where 965 million liters of petrol was imported, and Dangote exported more than 1 billion liters of petrol.
Now, let's look at that story, or what he said. Nigeria, as it is now, is importing over 900 million liters per day, per month. And by statistic, Nigeria only use between 32 to 46 million liters a day. And the Dangote refinery produced almost 133 million liters a day. That means what Dangote produces a day is more than what we consume a day. But we are still importing over 900 million liters a day. And these liters is where the subsidy money goes to. So ask me, that 900 and something liters, where does it go to? I know your guess will be good as mine. That liters is just on paper. Not physically, no, if there's even anything, maybe 30 million liters a month. Because if you are to times 31 days by what we use daily, it's not up to 1.4 billion liters a month. If Dangote produced 133 million, between 133 million and 150 something million liters a day, times that per month, you see, what Dangote produced a month, we will not finish it in 3 months. But we are importing almost 1 billion liters a month. And that is where our fuel subsidy is going on, or what they call our energy security, so that we can have access to energy. Now, I want us to, a few days ago, when Osani burst into cry on national TV, talking about how the elites, the corrupt politicians, have taken Nigeria from one of the richest countries in the world and put us into the most poorest country in the world. It burst into cry and people were laughing. Let's watch that statement that Osani made, because he already kind of talked about that fuel subsidy before Timmy Sinclair went into further digging and brought us this new revelation.
Let's watch.
Lack of transparency and truth in the process. Oji, President Tinubu announced subsidy gone in 2023. Do you know that he continued paying subsidy despite telling Nigerians that the reason why they announced subsidy gone was because it was not in the budget? NMPC record shows that 7.1 trillion was paid in subsidy. Do you know what they did, Oji? They hide the name. They didn't call it subsidy. You know what they called it? Energy security expenses. You see this level of lack of transparency. Energy security expenses. It was just like when Buhari government came in. You know, Buhari said something was a scam. It didn't exist and everything. When he's also started playing subsidy, you know what he called it? Under recovery. So it is this lack of transparency that kills this country. And Ayo, I get your points. I don't want people to suffer. I play in that space. I do a lot of advocacy for people. But Ayo, we need to jolt our leaders. Ayo, what happened to this country? We are seeing the likes of the Machimogu. We have seen the likes of Malami, forfeiture and everything. We need to jolt our country back. Ayo, I cry for Nigeria this morning. Let me read something to you. Why I'm crying, why I scream sometimes for this country. On the 23rd of December, 1974, Nigeria signed a long-term borrowing agreement with the World Bank. Under this agreement, Nigeria provided $240 million in net resources to the World Bank reserves. Ayo, we're borrowing World Bank money.
We were lending.
We're lending World Bank money. to do development projects for other countries. In 1975, we also lent 120 million to the IMF. This country was not depending on aid in the 70s. I feel like crying this morning. What has happened to this country? And because people are looting the country dry. The same country that was lending World Bank money to $40 million in the 70s. In that same 70s, do you know that Britain was going to the World Bank to loan money because they had an economic crisis? That time we were lending them money.
Even as everything is still going on, the jewel of this government was removal of fuel subsidy. That is what they've campaigned on. That is what they've held in their hand. They called it out a victory that even all other politicians were eager to even remove fuel subsidy. You know, when we watched, when Peter Obi talked, he said how he would have done it. That removing fuel subsidy, you have to first make a plan, not just saying with a figure, with a tip of a figure, fuel subsidy should be removed, without no palliative. And the Tinubu government and the regime, I don't even have to call them government again. This is a regime, not even a democratic election. He was not brought in through free and fair election. It was rigged there. But this is a regime of Tinubu government. You see how they are even celebrating it. Let's watch a video of somebody from the Tinubu circle celebrating the removal of fuel subsidy as their own silver bullet to Nigeria crisis.
I'm going to start from practical thing about things he has done. Immediately he came into the government, they went straight for things they wanted to do. First and foremost on the lead, fuel subsidy must be removed. Well, it was difficult for the people. I'm a Nigerian also. It was difficult for me. But the reality is that the impact of that fuel subsidy is what all of us are enjoying now. It's coming to bear with us. The government is not spending a lot of trillions of naira for nothing again. Some of those money have been diverted into other aspects of economy, like salary increase, like exporting. Our IGR has increased tremendously. That's under the economy. And that is synonymous with the manifesto of Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu before he came to power. Under page 11 of his manifesto.
You guys, at the beginning when I said that, if we don't remove Tinubu government, that might be the end of our life or the country called Nigeria. That our life, for we to live, we have to remove this regime. And that statement was borrowed from the next video you guys are about to watch now. Because that's the perfect statement to this regime.
Stolen subsidy money, mismanaged budgets. It's about to stay alive. Tinubu has to go. That's the only extent to which we discuss the subject. That if a government is failing you, you have to relieve that government. Even members of the APC agree with us now that this idea of one-man rule, which was disguised as one-party rule, and they were joining him, they've discovered now that it's one-man rule, and this one man is grossly incompetent, is distracted, is tired, but he doesn't know how to stop because he sees government as a business. But what is important is to ensure that Nigerians don't assume that 2027 is about the political career of individuals. It's about the survival of the country. And if Nigeria survives, then the black race has hope that at least there will be one black country that is functioning in this world.
So my theory regarding this new way of paying subsidy is that, let's say, assume at the beginning I thought maybe, oh, the Tinubu government started importing, they stopped fuel subsidy, and then later found out that Nigerians are feeling the brunt of this policy. So they secretly bring up this way of paying for subsidy so that Nigeria can enjoy fuel at a lower price. But at the end of the time, after watching videos and looking at how this subsidy is even paid, and the imported fuel that we don't even use, there is no other conclusion than to, there's no other conclusion that this government is the worst set of government or regime that you will ever find in the entire world. And if we don't remove them, there might be a country that was once called in Nigeria, but that does no longer exist. Not because there will be a divisional agitation to divide, because majority, 90%, might be living in abject, let's say the first degree of poverty. That is where most of us will be in. He came into the government just few months. Nigeria, over 100 million Nigerians entered three-dimension poverty. You want to give this same man another 4 years? What do you think? And I say again, our lives depend on removing Tinubu regime. If not, you see this insecurity we are seeing now will be a child's play in the next 2 years. Not even in next week. Once Tinubu comes back again, it will be a child's play. The insecurity will be over rampant that you can't even move from your house to the next store, let's say travel 500 meters without facing any security threat. Thank you guys very much. I will leave this and I will be following this story keenly, and I'll be following it and getting every information and reactions from Nigerians. So please guys, if you are new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button, click on the bell icon so that whenever I drop any latest update, you will be notified. And please, I will be waiting for you guys on the comment section below. And you guys tell me your thoughts. What do you think? And how do you think we can remove this government? Thank you very much. While I wait for you guys on the comment section below. Bye-bye.